So today's quest, we have a very unique topic, which is scientific entrepreneurship, challenges and opportunities. And to present this topic to us, we have a very eminent person with us today. And I would invite Johnson sir to introduce him. He is known as a writer by default and a bureaucrat by design. So we look forward to know more about him from Johnson sir.
Good morning, everybody. Really sorry for the technical problem which has arisen today morning. But everything there is a solution, and we look forward for the solution. So it is my privilege to introduce and welcome my young friend Dr. K. Ambadi, an accomplished civil service officer of the 2002 batch, belonging to the esteemed Indian Information Service. He is currently serving as the Chief Executive Officer of BioNest under the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, under deputation. During his distinguished 23-year career, Dr. Ambadi has held several significant leadership positions, which include Director of the Information Public Relations Department, Government of Kerala, Managing Director, Kerala State Coastal Area Development Corporation, Managing Director, Samunnati of the Government of Kerala, Director, K.R. Narayanan National Institute of Visual Sciences and Arts, News Director of Doordarshan, Thiruvananthapuram, Director Subodham of the project of the Government of Kerala, during which I had the opportunity to closely associate with Dr. Ambadi as the honorary advisor of Subodham and to witness his multifaceted talents, commitment and dedication. Personally, I cannot forget his love and concern, particularly coming to my house to see me off to CMC Vellore for my cancer surgery. And on that day, VM Sudhiran sir was also there. A journey which finally landed me at this big believers family. And the rest is an unbelievable history. Apart from his administrative excellence, Dr. Ambadi is also a gifted, creative professional. He has written scripts for notable films such as Ayar, Pokri Simon, and Mahadev Ka Gorakhpur, and served as the creative director of the Malayalam movie Thrissur Puram. His film Ayar earned wide recognition, winning 5 Kerala State Film Awards. So you can understand the multifaceted talents of Dr. Ambadi. During our time, he has also crafted a short video film for the Government of Kerala on behalf of our project, Subodham, which was part of the UN-WHO International Day Against Drug Abuse. In fact, this is not his first visit to our Believers Hospital. He was our guest of honor at our Blood Donors Day 3 years back. We are honored to have Dr. Ambadi with us today again. And once again, on behalf of the whole Believers Medical College Hospital family and the National Resource Center for NCDs, may I extend you, sir, our heartfelt welcome.
respected father, senior doctors, Johnson sir, and my dear friends. Good morning to all of you. I am honored and privileged to be back in Believers Hospital for sharing some of my thoughts on the topic scientific entrepreneurship. Johnson sir was asking me, have you bought a PowerPoint? So I told him that I am not a great fan of PowerPoint. I have certain points to share which I will present before you with all the power I could gather with, but sorry, there is no PowerPoint. So, since we have started late, I think that I will rush through the topics and we will have some kind of an interactive session, which will be more interesting. So the topic scientific entrepreneurship is a kind of an oxymoron. As we all know, it's an apparently contradictory terms, at least from a societal point of view. So it's a kind of an oxymoron, a contradictory terms. Why? I think when we address that issue, we will be able to understand the challenges and opportunities of scientific entrepreneurship. The first and foremost thing is the way we approach the concept of entrepreneurship. We all know there are very senior doctors here, students there, practitioners of medicine, and maybe other disciplines are there. So we all know that once we are doing our +1, +2, we will be inspired by our parents or teachers to write for entrance. We either become an engineer or we become a doctor. Same case with me, I wrote entrance, I got into Alabama Medical College many years back. Or probably you may be taking a stream where you will take the stream of commerce. You will become, after that you may take an MBA. So that is the way academic stream is structured. So after that you will get into a job, you will become a doctor, you will do your post-graduation super specialty, or you do your engineering. After that you do MBA from probably IAM, you get into Google, or you get into some kind of a multinational company, or you do your commerce, you become a chartered accountant. So all those things. So the thing is that our entire academic curriculum has been structured in such a way to make us job seekers rather than job givers, to be employees rather than employers. So here is the concept of entrepreneurship coming. We know that as students, we have been taught integral calculus, we have been taught the digestive system of cockroach, but we are never taught how to manage money, how to manage your finance, how to save, how to invest, how to make money multiply. So I think, personally I think, and there are also a lot of people who believe, that is probably because we are following an imperial system that has been introduced by the British. But the British didn't want Indians to start business or entrepreneurship and to become rich. They only wanted people to be serving the British. You need probably a glorified clerk, like a bureaucrat like me, who is working for the government, but I am working for someone. So they always want somebody to serve them, to further their cause. So they don't want someone to be independent of them, independent of themselves, and probably start a business and excel in that. So the whole academic structure, the academic way in which our entire academic curricula are structured is actually not very pro-entrepreneurial. So that is the biggest challenge that we are addressing whenever we are talking about entrepreneurship. The second thing is actually the societal blockage which we have. I have heard that if you go to a Jew family or if you go to a Gujarati family, there actually the kids, even though they are going to school, their parents give them 10 rupees. Tell them that make it 20 rupees at the end of this month. Not to spend that 10 rupees. You will give 10 rupees. Next week also you will give 10 rupees for our kids to spend. Because that is the way actually we are brought up. That is the actually ecosystem in which we feel that is the natural thing to do. So in our society actually we see entrepreneurship not in a very positive light. Maybe if you are taking the parents, very senior people are there, so their parents, they'll be looking for alliances for their groom, for brides, their boys and their girls. So probably an entrepreneurship or a business person will be the last choice. He'll be looking probably to have a doctor or an engineer or who is having a government job, who is a bureaucrat. So that is the position in which we are looking. So the societal mindset, I can very frankly say that it is anti-entrepreneurial. No, we cannot say that it is neutral. It is actually against entrepreneurial. So if I am talking about BioNest, where I am now serving, BioNest is actually an incubator. So what do you mean by an incubator? It is a joint venture between Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology and the Kerala Startup Mission. So if you have an idea which is marketable, so that idea you are bringing, it can be incubated. You don't know whether it will work or not. So it can be incubated in a government facility, and you are trying your research, you are trying your all, which I will be explaining later. So you will be doing a lot of things there, and if it works out, it comes out as a product. So in BioNest, if I am talking, there are actually now presently 22 companies are incubated there, and 90% of those companies, the people who have started those companies belong to business families only. No scientist has come, no doctor has come, no engineer has come, because business is running through their families. Their families know, their parents know that it is also a very good option to start a business, to start an entrepreneurship. Of course, there is a risk. So there is a question of risk management, taking calculated risk. So they give some money. So I was actually interviewing, there's a process, screening process in which we empanel them into our. So I was asking that boy who has come with some idea, so how he is coming. So he said, my father has given me some seed fund and he has asked me to go and experiment whether you can manage this or not. So he is actually not afraid of failing. So that risk-taking mentality is instilled into their mindset right from the childhood. So that is why actually that boy is happy to come and experiment something on his own. So that mindset, the societal mindset, is also a barrier. Is one of the important challenges when we are finding in entrepreneurship generally. So all the 2 points which I was discussing earlier, our academic issue, our social issue, both are actually general to entrepreneurship in general. But when we are talking about scientific entrepreneurship, there is another issue which I have also personally found. That is, as we know, this is applicable to scientists, it is applicable to doctors, technology, technocrats, everyone. Because most of us, when we are entering into this profession, we are entering it for the passion of it. A scientist is doing a research for the pure passion of it and for the expansion of knowledge. So that research is actually a pure science for the expansion of knowledge. That is not linked to a market need. So he is doing it for his own joy, because he is feeling happy about it. Most of you are seeing hundreds of patients, you feel happy about it. You are doing hundreds of surgeries, you feel happy about it. It's a self-actualization process. So it is a kind of a yogi kind of a mindset that sets in for a doctor, for a scientist who is doing pure scientific research. It's detached from commercial aspect. So, but when you want to become an entrepreneur, you need little kind of an indulgence. I always used to say that there has to be a little bhogi also in your mind, in a very positive sense of that term. So yogi, not just a yogi, will be a successful entrepreneurship. A yogi will be a very successful scientist. There is no doubt about it. Very, very successful doctor. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, somewhere we have to marry both these kinds of mindsets. Because if you want to start an entrepreneurship, scientific knowledge is very much required. But it has to be linked to a kind of a market need. You have to analyze the commercial viability of that idea so that you can actually develop that into a kind of a product or a service or a venture. I will tell you one example. There is a startup that has been incubated with BioNest. They are called Heka. You can Google it. It is called Heka Medicals. So it has been started by an engineer, and his brother is a pediatrician. So probably, I don't know, probably in one of their discussions, they could have found out a need that is probably missing in the pediatric neonatal ICU. And they have developed a kind of a bubble CPAP system, which is used in neonatal respiratory distress. and actually they are now doing their trials in Jipmer. And what I have been told is that this is an excellent feedback they are getting. Now they are actually going for the commercialization of it. So what I'm trying to say is that when we are doing our profession or when we are doing our scientific research, if we are actually able to link some kind of a commerciable possibility of that. I mean, we need not see it from a very actually negative point of view, because I always say that it is life to lab to life. You are doing some research, you are doing for the pure passion of it, but if you can link it to a greater common good, it will be addressing a problem. It can be developing probably a machine, biomedical machine like what they have developed, which I just told you, or it may be developing a precision medicine for cancer. As doctors, as scientists, you would be aware of that, or you will be able to, if you are putting a kind of your energy into that line, you will be able to understand what is that need. So while doing so, that kind of a marriage of both of your pure scientific research or passion in your profession with some kind of an entrepreneurial mindset, that can actually result in scientific entrepreneurship. So I will just tell you about, if some of you, maybe very senior doctors or students or somebody doing house surgency, if you feel that if you have any idea that can be incubated, you are all welcome to BioNest. That's the first thing which I can tell you. BioNest is a joint venture between Department of Biotechnology and Government of Kerala Startup Mission. So here, you know that when you are doing medical research, when you are doing biotechnology research, you will be requiring equipments which are very costly. So the government has actually provided extensive equipments for common usage. So if you are incubated there, you will be able to use that equipments for your own research. So you will be given 3 years, 6 years time, and there will be also support from the government if the idea is good. There are lots of grants available, and Government of India is doing a lot of initiatives now through the Bio E3 policy to support biotechnology entrepreneurship, especially in precision medicine, diagnostics. So if any of you, I think that if this whole interaction will be it will be meaningful if at least one person here is interested, has an idea, or if you have developed that mindset into your mind that in future probably you may get an idea, and if you feel that it is worth incubating, there is a facility available. It's in Cochin under pure government mechanism. You are always welcome. So I was telling that actually we can probably think of maybe final year students or people who are in house surgency, maybe one day visit, you can do that place, you can see, you can expose yourself to the things that are happening, and probably, I don't know, maybe a wonder medicine is waiting somewhere in your minds, probably that will come up through that entrepreneurship. So I think that will be a very nice thing for us to do. So to just conclude, as we always say that the crucial thing in scientific entrepreneurship is that you have to have clear communication, because probably you have a scientific idea in your mind, and you will have to communicate and convince people who are non-scientific about it. There may be actually a venture capitalist who is willing to put some funding. So you will be able to convince that person about the potential of investing with you. So the most important thing is to have a very clear and simple communication mechanism in which you can communicate very clearly and directly to your non-scientific audience. It can be venture capitalist, it can be somebody else. So that communication, we have to be very clear in communicating. Second thing is that actually you have to identify a demand. If you have a demand, so when you are developing a product or a service for that demand, naturally there will be takers. We all know about Uber. It was actually a felt need which we were not feeling among ourselves. So somebody found that idea that actually, of course, you're just connecting people. So there was a felt demand. That is why it worked. Similarly with Swiggy or Zomato, these are all felt demands which we would like to address that need. So when it came, it made our life simple. So we all went for that. So that kind of a mindset, so that market demand or market need, if you can identify that, would be very good. The third thing is actually to secure funding. For secure funding, actually you need to have very good pitch desk, based on your scientific credentials and the market potential. So you can make a pitch desk on that, for which actually there are a lot of venture capital opportunities are there in Bionest, and there are actually maybe next week actually there is a huddle global is happening in Trivandrum, where all these people can come and pitch. All the venture capitalists, potential investors are coming at one place. You can pitch your ideas, and if it is there, they will invest with your idea. So those opportunities are there everywhere. So you can secure funding. And thirdly and fourthly and most importantly, it is about, you will have to be also secure with your intellectual property rights. So if you are coming to a facility like Bionest, there are also facilities, Kerala Startup Mission, as a pool of mentors and advisors who will help in securing your intellectual property rights. So that is also very important. And finally, there is a legal and regulatory framework that works in every country, and it will be different for different countries. So you will have to actually develop your product or a mechanism or a service within the regulatory framework of that country. So all these things has to be also kept in mind when you are looking for a kind of a scientific entrepreneurship. So there are a lot of opportunities that are available, support systems are available, collaborative ecosystem is there. So it is for us to keep that also as an option in your mind when you are actually looking forward to design your future. So this is a simple words in which I have communicated the whole thing. And if you have any questions, actually we can have a very small interaction.
Thank you, sir, for that enlightening talk. As sir highlighted a hard truth, how global north is actually dominating over global south, because we are always taught to follow and not lead. And he has beautifully explained a lot of pathways in which we can actually empower ourselves to lead. So I'll leave the floor open to questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ambani, for the good talk and encouragement. So I'm a pharmacologist in 2004 batch. I would like to know how Bionest will help a scientist like one of us who is interested in developing a product with final marketing. See, this person should finally, if you're talking about marketing and commercialization, at a later point in time, there is a high potential that that person may completely move into that area. So they have to leave the clinical work. So how will Bionest or this ecosystem support that?
So Bionest basically has two modes of incubation. The first is a kind of a pre-incubation. So in the pre-incubator stage, maybe actually if you have an idea which you are not sure, or when you present it to the committee is not sure that it is marketable. So there will be a pre-incubation stage or a virtual incubation stage, where actually you need not personally come there, but you will get all the facilities because you are a virtual incubator. So whenever you want to do some kind of an experiment, you can come there and do all the research using the equipments. Probably you will be doing some other kind of work as well. So a partial incubation or a pre-incubation or a virtual incubation is possible to begin with. And once actually you are convinced, the committee is convinced that actually there is a good possibility for us to go ahead, then actually the physical incubation stage will come. So in the physical incubation stage, you will be given maybe 500, 600 square feet of space, and the common facility will be available to you 24/7, so that all kind of research which you want to do, maybe if you want to develop a precision medicine and all, that kind of research can start. So it can go 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Generally, the incubation is for 3 years. So at that time, actually, the place is offered at a very minimal, very nominal kind of a. You take the square feet rate and very, very nominal kind of rate, and the equipment usage fee is also very minimal. And I think, as far as Bionest is concerned, and I think it is one of the lowest in the country. So that facility is there. There actually the scientists, very experienced scientists, facility, the services are available. They are there. Rajiv Gandhi Center of Biotechnology has around 30 years of experience in doing so many kind of research. So if you want to have any collaboration, that can be done. And again, actually, if you want to have most advanced kind of mechanism, then there is a tie-up with Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology. You can use their lab and facilities also to further your research. Secondly, there is a whole support system for helping in IP kind of intellectual property rights, then discussion with venture capitalists. So venture capitalists generally come there, they take the ideas. So that kind of around 3 or 4 events are being structured across the year. So that actually, if the idea can be presented to a venture capitalist at that stage, so that probably if it works out, the people can come and invest with you, and they can take it forward. There is also support system ranging from 50 lakhs to 5 crore that actually Government of India, Department of Biotechnology will BRIC or BIRAC will support you if the your research line matches with what the government proposes to be in the biotechnology policy. So that kind of support is also available. So in that way, actually, it is a kind of a system in which lot of cushioning and support systems are there, in which you can take this forward. But as I told you, the mindset is very important, and there is an irony. I will always used to say, Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology is running this BioNest, and RGCB has been there for some 30 years. Last 2 months only, one faculty came up with a startup idea. If you take IIT and all, there are a lot of faculty startups, because faculty are doing the research for the pure research of it. But now a faculty has come up saying that whatever research he has done, you want to set up a startup and try its commercial possibility. So once we have that kind of a mindset, I think that a lot of support systems and ecosystem are available around us.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for that wonderful talk, sir. So I'm Dr. Magdalene Savan-Borges. I'm right now working in clinical hematology. So I've basically started the incorporation of my own company. So but I was literally shaking when I presented it to my parents. So yeah, sir, I just want to know that maybe it's a very basic question. Right before you pitch or go to a VC and start your funding, who are the people that you put when you put together your team? Who are the people that you bring in? Like, is it your CA? I have my CA and my website and all, but do we bring in legal right from the start, or should we wait for the funding and then bring in legal?
Very good question. Actually, one of the points which I forgot to tell you is team building when you are doing for scientific entrepreneurship. That was one point actually when I was I missed out. So you brought that point. So it is very important to have a proper team. I mean, it is not just in entrepreneurship. Whatever initiative you are taking, there is a requirement for a proper team. So actually, when you are starting a startup, I always advise that control your cost. So control your recurring expenditure. So what we can do is that you start with a very minimal team. So when you are starting, the core focus has to be on that idea. So who are all required for that? For developing your idea, for developing probably a molecule or a peptide, whatever it is, so or developing a diagnostic kit. So whatever scientific support you require, probably you will be the main person, so you don't need any other. So you need some people who technically who can do that. I think they should be only in the team to begin with. Maybe actually for regulatory framework, for supporting you on legal side, for supporting you as a chartered accountant, you can all have them as consultants. So pay as you take their advice. We need not get them on our regular payrolls, because that will increase the recurring expenditure and make the whole thing heavy on you. So you have to cut your cost, make the recurring expenditure as minimum as possible. So just have the minimum people to start with, and probably if you are having a startup if you are having a startup system in a proper startup ecosystem, lot of other things are taken care, because you have a space, you have common security, you have common electricity, Wi-Fi, you have office space, all those things are taken care of. So that will cut your cost. Probably maybe you will need one technician to do a specific kind of assignment. So maybe 1, 2, 3 people. With that you will be able to, if you are not having a separate system of office, then probably you may have to find all those things. So I think in the beginning actually you should minimize your cost and work on it. And once actually it becomes a kind of a patentable thing, it is always better to go to a VC with a patent, if possible. So if you are going with a patent, you will be in a very strong footing. So till that time, actually, it is better to control the cost. Yeah, 2-3 years it will take. It will take 2-3 years. Yeah, better. I mean, depends on, for example, if you are going for some other kind of thing, there may not be patent possible for that. In that case, actually, maybe you can think otherwise. But generally, if it is a patentable product, it's better to, because once you go with a patent, the chance of getting VC funds are more.
Any more questions for sir? Thank you so much, sir. That was very enlightening, and I'm sure our audience is quite empowered with all the information you have given. And we look forward to faculty coming up with ideas and which reaches patency and startups. Thank you, the audience, for coming and giving your valuable time for this. Now I invite John Williams, sir, to actually give this token of appreciation to Ambari, sir.
Sir is the classmate of my uncle.